I don't
I knew
know.
some people that did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, as soon as snakes come out, I'm out, dude.
Well, see, that's where you need to welcome Jesus Christ into your heart.
Then it won't bite you, right?
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Glad we're on the same page. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tether Radio Podcast, the only podcast keeping you from spiraling out into the infinite abyss. I'm your host, Daniel, and today I am joined by a very special guest host, Allie Valentine. You want to say hello?
Hi.
Yes, Allie is a very avid reader and friend of ours that is sitting in for Joseph because Joseph is in Lacine, Kansas. So, yes.
What's there?
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
So, but he's doing some kind of festival or something like that. He has another gig, obviously, other than this. But anyway, so yeah, how's your week been, Allie?
It's been good. I didn't read as much as I wanted to, but I read some. And I dove into a couple big true crime cases I never listened to stuff about before. So
Yeah.
Zodiac and Dahmer, which
Yeah.
are both like huge. I don't know why I've never looked into them, and they're both really exciting.
Yeah. No, honestly, we were kind of shooting the shit a little bit pre-show. The Dahmer series from last podcast is kind of fucking awesome.
Man, it's so good, and like you can't help but like the guy. I mean, sort of. I'm obviously not the bad stuff, but
Yeah.
otherwise.
No, I mean he was just like tormented, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was I don't know, kind of kooky. But anyway, so I spent, this is a super random side story. I helped my father mount a TV above his fireplace yesterday.
Oh, boy.
It was supposed to take an hour. It took us 3.5 hours.
Was it from IKEA? I mean, why did it take so long?
No shit, dude. It was kind of kooky because it was just one of these. Well, he hopped on Amazon. He's like, Samsung wall mount, you know, and of course, like, he's like, I bought it, and it said it was for Samsung, and I'm like, yeah, they kind of put that shit in the descriptions to get more pings on searches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that Samsung really was putting that bad boy out. But anyway. So, yeah, it took entirely too long.
Oh,
and,
those seem terrible. I've never mounted one of those, and I don't mind putting together furniture, but for some reason, like the wall mount TV thing, I just break out in hives thinking about it. I don't want to do one of those.
Well, plus it was like, I mean, it was a 65-inch TV, so it was heavy as fuck. But anyway, so yeah. So my first Saturday free from work was spent basically hanging a TV at my parents. So anyway, but now we're back with the throwing down some tracks for the Tether listeners and stuff. But anywho, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the meat and potatoes of the episode, as they would say. So I pulled this first one from Independent. Harry Potter books removed from school library because they contain real curses and spells.
Can you imagine?
This is I was actually semi-hesitant to cover this because this is in Tennessee.
I know. I saw it like passively this week, and I was like, these crazy people. I'm not even clicking this.
Dude, it is kind of insane. Like, no, I'm sorry, it is not kind of insane. It is completely and utterly insane.
So my just understanding of this, just reading the headline and passing it by, they think these are spells that could actually work.
100%.
That's great. Love to see it.
And the worst part is obviously this is happening in a school. So, there's no telling what else these kids are fucking being taught.
Also,
so.
Harry Potter books are old now. They're 12, 15 years old or something?
I mean, shit, dude, I was reading that in middle school.
Yeah, like why is this just now? Ugh.
Yeah. But I love this quote that I had. So the guy that was behind all this, Reverend Dan Rehill, He sent an email to the parents of the students of St. Edward Catholic High School, or I'm sorry, St. Edward Catholic School in Nashville, declaring that he had consulted with exorcists in the U.S. and at the Vatican before outlawing the 7-volume tale of the boy wizard's career at Hogwarts and his battle against Lord Voldemort and the forces of darkness.
Wait, how do you find an exorcist? Like, if you need one, do you go on Yelp? Like, how do you find
That's honestly, I bet a really good starting point would be fucking Craigslist. No, I don't know how legit it is, but I can guarantee you somebody's got some fucking posts on there.
You're like, I can exorcise your demons. Also, if your dad needs a TV wall mounted, I can do that on the side.
I can do that for an additional 25 to $50.
I'm a jack of all trades.
Oh, it's awesome. But I wanted to read this quote from the email because it's kind of incredible. Let's see. Let me make sure that. He said, these books present magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact, a clever deception. I know, right? The curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which, when read by a human being risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text.
I can't even.
And they wrote in the article, the Reverend Rehill wrote, apparently in all seriousness, because it's so fucking laughable, dude.
Can you picture somebody listening to the audiobook, like driving down the road, and it's like, what, making shit levitate or something?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, my God, dude. Fucking crazy world.
Also,
but,
get a hobby. Like, this is what you're worried about the most out of everything?
The world is what it is right now, and you're worried about fucking Harry Potter and kids being deceived into conjuring evil spirits.
Like, banning books is the dumbest thing anyway, but there's some out there that you could at least sort of be concerned about.
Yeah.
Or
how about like the Anarchist Cookbook or something? It's like showing you how to make bombs and shit. I kind of get that.
I went to Books A Million the other day and I stumbled across the Communist Manifesto, like just on the shelf. I guess I'd never seen it before, but in my head I was thinking it was the Anarchist Cookbook, and I was like, they're selling that here? And then I was like, you're an idiot.
Which I think Joseph and I actually covered another article that was talking about some guy that had referenced it.
Yeah.
And when you get on Amazon, because I think Amazon actually still sells it, but it's an edited version of the original one. So it was one of these
It just looks like one of those reports from the FBI where everything's redacted.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 3 words that are not redacted in each page or on each page.
They're just articles, just A and B.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we'll go ahead and cruise on from that one, and we'll go over to massive barbecue planned outside vegan's home after she complained about meat smell.
Oh, you don't like meat smell? I got you some meat smell.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. So this woman, and this was actually in Australia, she said that her neighbors were deliberately interrupting her garden time by barbecuing meat, smoking outdoors, and letting their kids play basketball.
Okay, but I can kind of relate because my neighbors just put together a trampoline this week, and honestly, it's offending me.
Really?
Like, I don't...
They're just, like, loud as shit, or what?
Their kid's, like, I don't know, he's, like, 6, but he's some sort of demon kid. He just, like, squeals and screams all the time.
Oh, God, you shouldn't be around Finn much.
No! Finn's different. Finn is adorable and precious. This kid is insane. Also, I don't even know if he owns a shirt. He never wears... It can be, like, 20 degrees, and this kid's out there in shorts, and I'm like... What? But anyway...
Do you have parents, and where are they?
But yeah, I was sitting up on the back porch the other day reading, and there they come, and I just like I go back inside.
Yeah. No, we used to. I know that when I still lived with my folks, we had some neighbors that their kids. But I mean, like, their kids were just so fucking loud that it was like, it was just one of these things that it it really was. I get this. I understand the complaint.
I mean, these guys are totally doing it to be dicks. Sure.
Well, but that's the thing. So this was actually because I kind of read a little bit further into this, and the massive barbecue was not planned by the neighbors. Well, this was just like people that had found out about all this shit, and they had like organized it because they're like, "Hey, go fuck yourself," because I get the noise stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, if you're fucking grilling out, you're grilling out. Man. It's like
you're not purposely like wafting the smell over to them.
But she was quoted as saying, "It's deliberate. All I can smell is fish. I can't enjoy my backyard. It's been devastating. It's been turmoil. It's been unrest. I haven't been able to sleep."
No. You're just laying in bed in the middle of the night, and you're like, that damn fish.
Yeah, seriously. She just wakes up in a cold sweat. Fucking barbecue! Ah! It's just like, oh my god, man. God, but yeah, it's just this shit's just a bit much. Recently taking her complaints to the Supreme Court.
Excuse me. Again, do you have nothing better to do?
And that's, and it's really funny because, short tangent about nothing better to do. I feel like that's why we're in this, like, we've kind of cultivated this rage culture kind of thing. Yeah. Because shit is going pretty well for most people, I think, And so it's like, or I'm sorry, in regards to, like, we don't have big wars going on. Yeah. We don't have... we don't have something that's like creating a sense of solidarity among the like American people. Yeah. So it's like everybody's got this free time and stuff, and they decide to complain about fucking people barbecuing. So, but obviously this is Australia, but we have very similar issues. I feel like in the United States, that it's like, oh my god. This person looked at me cross-eyed when I was walking on the road. I'm taking it to the Supreme Court, But she proceeded to file a 600-page document detailing her appeal.
How? Saying, what even can you say for 600 pages?
She names everything that they were barbecuing.
Oh my god.
It's like fucking like Bubba Gump, like naming off the different ways you can prepare shrimp.
Hey, I found a video this week about the 59 ways you can cook an egg.
59?
I can name like 6, maybe?
Yeah.
In the thumbnail, I've not watched it yet, but in the thumbnail, they were like, one of them was cooked on a waffle iron, and I'm like, okay, that's a stretch. Like, that's not a poach or something. But I don't know how you're going to do 59. No. But... That sounds like somebody writing a 600-page document.
But they'd have to like have like sub tiers of boiling, like soft boil,
sure.
Hard boil,
I mean, it's got to be,
right?
Yeah.
But well, I'll tell you one thing: as long as they're not barbecuing the fucking eggs, then they will probably be left out of her court proceed.
Just laying in bed at night, the eggs. Yeah, the eggs are back.
60 ways, no 59. Ah.
Oh, eggs would bother her because she's vegan. She doesn't even do eggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I understand like trying or being a vegetarian, like being brought up as a vegetarian, maybe like some kind of. I mean, I've got a really good buddy that he's Indian and he's vegetarian.
Sure.
And I mean, I get it, And I mean, like, if you're against, the poor treatment of animals and all that stuff, I understand that to a degree. But veganism, man, and like the hardcore like shit that it's like, oh, the like fruit has to drop from the tree, like it can't be like, if you, and I think this would fall under like radical veganism or whatever, but it's like you have to be able to harvest the fruit without killing the plant.
Oh my god,
kind of thing, and I'm like. We're talking about a plant,
it's
right?
It's actually there to be eaten.
Yes,
that's the point of the whole damn tree.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this was just this was next level. So But they had.
Does it say what her career is? I just wonder this about this person.
It actually does. Massage therapist.
No.
Which is kind of funny because you would think that she would be the most chill,
right? Like really zen and just
Like you think that she'd
maybe
be able to
she
zen
uses
her
up all her zen at work.
She just comes home
and
frazzled
work,
as
she's
fuck.
Just nuts.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's awesome. Oh man, but yeah. So they had nearly 9,000 people have said they're interested in attending the event set for October 19th, which clearly intends to mock Cardin's case against her neighbors. So
what's the event? That's
the massive barbecue.
It's not happened. Okay.
No, it hasn't happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna storm Area 51, and then we'll get right over to Australia and attend this.
We've got like a really big fourth quarter planned for
coming.
2019. But I loved that they in the description for the event, they said, "Don't let Scylla destroy a good old Aussie tradition. Join us for a community barbecue and help Scylla Cardin get some pork on her fork." I was like, hell yeah. But anyway,
I love it.
we won't drag the listeners through any more of this huge Aussie barbecue, and we might have to check back on it and make a note for us to revisit in an upcoming episode.
What was the date? Do you remember?
It's okay it said October 19th.
Okay.
Where was that?
That's a Saturday. I know that because a friend of mine has a wedding that day.
Oh, really? Yeah, October 19th. Mm-hmm. Well, shit, you're not going to be able to attend.
No, I mean, he I'm not going to the wedding. He was just talking about it. Actually,
well, I'm booking
the wedding got canceled was why he was talking about it, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, wow.
Pretty fun.
Jeez. Okay. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and cruise over to our next one. You want to start walking us through the Vox article you picked out?
Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about it,
okay.
But just, the gun stuff in the news lately, mm-hmm. I feel like it's all starting to kind of come to a head, mm-hmm. and one of the big things that happened with it this week was Walmart came out and said, which a lot of people are saying is just kind of the bare minimum, but mm-hmm. I feel like, it's more than our lawmakers are doing, so...
Well, and that was something that I wanted to talk about on here is... How effective do you think this is going to be? Because they're not prohibiting, really.
Yeah.
They're really just asking, right?
Well, so what they're asking customers to no longer openly carry firearms in their stores or their Sam's Clubs, even mm-hmm. in states where open carry is legal, unless they're cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that many people open carrying.
Yeah.
And I don't go to Walmart, so maybe there's more of it there than say at Starbucks. But I guess technically you can still conceal carry.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that that's really going to change that much.
Yeah.
But even if they ask people not to conceal carry, how are you going to know that or enforce that?
Well, and honestly, because we were, both of us kind of picked out some articles that were, basically, Allie brought up the Walmart coming out against the conceal carry stuff. And then very shortly after that, a bunch of other retailers have kind of jumped on the bandwagon with it. And I pulled one that was talking about CVS and Walgreens.
Yeah.
But it's really, CVS and Walgreens also jumping on board.
Yeah.
But what was kind of interesting in regards to the laws around concealed carry stuff is depending on the laws state by state, they can put up a sign that just, if it's a really strict state, mm-hmm. then they can put up just basically a sign that's a big whatever red mark through a handgun kind of thing.
Like you see it at a bank or something.
Yeah. And it's and that basically means no firearms.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
Like concealed carry or open carry or concealed carry, neither. But in some states they actually have to have two separate things defining what they're talking about. Oh. So it's no open carry versus if they say no open carry, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can conceal carry or whatever.
Yeah.
But which I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But But really, the kind of meat and potatoes behind all of this gun violence stuff and kind of how it's being dealt with these days, I thought that this, well, obviously this will have an effect, I think. And I think that if enough stores hop on board, then, you know, I think that it will have an effect. And I totally agree that they were talking, I think in the comments or something, or it might have even been in one of the articles, that they were talking about how it's obviously kind of off-putting to be shopping and look over and somebody's got a gun on their hip, kind of thing.
Like I have so rarely seen people open carry that like. I was at a coffee shop, I mean, it's been 2-3 years ago, and I looked up, and there was a guy with, like, I don't even know guns, I guess a pistol, something, a handgun, like, on his belt, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I so much don't see it that I was like, are you a cop? What is your, like, wearing, like, a graphic tee? Like, you're not a cop.
I see you in that affliction tee. Oh my god. But yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see not only who else jumps on board, but also what kind of effect it has. Because I'm with you. I mean, we live in Tennessee, and I mean, people are very proud of their Second Amendment Second Amendment, right? Yeah. God, that was ridiculous. I just had a complete brain fart. But yeah, they love exercising the right of their rights and stuff. But having said that, I'm with you. I mean, like, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've seen someone openly carry in the past 5 years.
Yeah, like, it's unnerving because you don't see it, and because, like, I'm just not around guns. Like, I just choose not to be. Yeah. And it's weird to just see, like, there's a dude with a gun right there. Yeah. Why?
Well, and I mean, hell, I've had my concealed weapon permit for a very long time. Yeah. And like, I've never carried. Yeah. You know, it was more of one of these things that I kind of just wanted to get it.
Yeah.
You know, and plus it was also, I think I'm a very big proponent, obviously, of gun safety. Sure. And not fearing guns, but respecting guns.
Yeah.
Kind of
thing.
That's
important for sure.
So, yeah. But anyway, so the thing that I thought was really interesting is on the, I guess, heels of all of these mass shootings that have occurred, we pulled an article from, let's see, Gizmodo, how schools are being designed to minimize the number of deaths during a mass shooting. Which is fucking heart-wrenching, honestly, like, even to read that.
It's super interesting, and it's great, but it's also awful, you know? Like,
well, it's terrible that we even have to be thinking about this shit, you know?
That we can't somehow fix it without, like, having to spend $48 million on the design of the school.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they talk about, and I would 100% urge all of the listeners to check out show notes, and if we don't get them posted super quick, Joseph is obviously out of commission currently, and he's normally the show notes man, so you could just do a quick Google of basically how schools are being how the design of schools are being changed to minimize deaths during mass shooting. Yeah. So, but it was kind of interesting as to what they were implementing into the schools, like a curvature in hallways to reduce like line of sight kind of thing. Yeah. Putting little wings in the hallways so that literally kids can fucking duck behind them, which is. I mean, it's terrible. It's
harrowing. Like, it's awful.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But at the same time, I think that it's one of these things that, I mean, it needs to be addressed. There's obviously a problem. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I actually did a little sleuthing pre-episode. And because I wanted to see how we stacked up in regards to other countries, other developed countries.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's bad.
But that's the funny thing. It's not as bad as you would think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I pulled this from World Population Review. So I don't know exactly how credible this is, but they had it broken down pretty well. And I thought it was really interesting. So let's see, a couple things that kind of hopped out at me were, let's see, overall, we actually fall at like number 66 on the list of countries in terms of mass shooting rates per capita. So, but obviously that's taking into account the population. So we've got a fuck ton of people. So that would obviously, if you're talking about baseline, how many fucking shootings, it's a different story, kind of thing. Sure. But I thought that was an interesting way to that they were breaking it down, and they had a few of the European countries with higher mass shooting rates per capita than the United States included Russia, Norway, France, Switzerland, and Finland.
What? Aren't the Swiss all neutral?
And that's what I thought. It was kind of weird, like when they start breaking it down in regards to population size and stuff, because I feel like, in any scenario, when you get more people together, more shit happens.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that sounds fucking stupid. How to scientifically put it. More shit's gonna fucking happen when you got a lot of people together. But no, it was just this was a kind of an interesting breakdown because we're talking about other countries that that aren't third world countries and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's kind of interesting about this, or at least it was to me, is there's no real common definition of what a mass shooting is.
Yeah, I saw a thing this week. I don't know. I read a lot of gun stuff this week, but pretty much it sounded like, at least from the way this one article said, they say anything with 4 or more, I think, deaths. Mm-hmm. I think it was deaths. Counts. That's what they're counting as mass shootings.
Yeah. Which, and this is the thing that's ridiculous. I hate to split hairs in regards to this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously, this is 100% a partisan battle, kind of thing. Sure. And so both sides are going to be spinning it in whatever manner. And that was why I kind of wanted to talk about this the stats that I pulled from this World Population Review thing, just because it's literally you've got an argument for both sides,
right?
And I don't know how to address this without infringing on like our the Second Amendment rights, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because it is one of these things. I mean, the Second Amendment was really put in place to protect us from the government.
Yeah, and also like it was written a very long time ago,
and you're right.
And they're not talking about.
Where dueling was probably still fucking.
Yeah, I mean.
It's like, we can just fucking talk about this shit. We don't have to step out back and shoot at each other.
These are people that are worried that their like muskets are gonna get taken by the government, and they're not talking about these automatic weapons that you can shoot 30 people in 30 seconds with. Like they couldn't imagine that.
No, well, you're exactly right. And that's what the kind of both sides want to make it this simple debate. And it's not anything but.
Yeah. I had a really good talk with a good buddy of mine this weekend. And I like, he's super, super, super pro-gun. And I'm super not. And I'm not at all advocating for the government to take our guns or any of that. But, like, shit needs to change. And I just asked him, I just leveled with him. I was like, we're total opposites on this. But you have to agree that something has to change. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's your solution? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't either. Like,
that's what's so frustrating.
There's not a good, easy fix.
No,
like,
at all.
And even when you get into like, okay, we'll ban assault rifles. Okay, well, they're not very many that really are assault rifles. And like, there's not, I don't think there's even really definitions for, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that much about the actual like gun workings and stuff. But like, stuff needs to change. And no one knows how.
And that's the thing is, I think that legislatively we're in this like gridlock.
Yeah.
Because it's just like both sides, they're not fighting for common ground.
Yeah.
They're fighting for their fucking side only.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not... that's 100% not the
solution.
Yeah. So
and then people want to throw the mental illness thing in there, and they're like, but like mental illness is a whole spectrum. Like you're not just either mentally ill or not.
Yeah.
Like you're not just absolutely batshit or totally like normal person.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of people have like I've got anxiety. I'm on meds for that, and like that's mental illness. But like I absolutely think I have no reason not to own a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
And bringing up the mental illness thing, which is a super common thing that we talk about on this show, because I mean, fuck, man, you most of the time when I'm pulling these articles of like, some crazy motherfucker that went in Walmart and took off all their clothes and was like riding on a cart, like peeing in the aisles and stuff or whatever. It's one of these things that most of the time. It's not someone that's mentally stable doing it.
Well, yeah, but it's not necessarily someone who is medicated and they're just off their meds either.
Yeah,
like,
no, completely.
And I don't know. There's also there's the people that make the conscious, insane choice to go to Walmart and get naked and pee everywhere, or to have a mass shooting.
Yeah,
and
no, you're right.
I'd like, obviously, something is not right with you if you want to kill a bunch of strangers.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily fall into a mental illness thing. Like,
yeah.
It's not something that could have been flagged and should have been fixed every time,
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, and I honestly, I feel like we've kind of come full circle back to the fact that it's not simple.
No,
like
it's all
there's no
complicated.
simple there's no simple solution for it. So but anyway, we'll go ahead and cruise on from mass shootings to a little Amazon fuck up.
So much more lighthearted. Whew. Deep breath. All right. So The Handmaid's Tale is hugely popular on Hulu, and everybody's been watching it. And most people know it was a book first. It was written in 1985, and it's been a big deal for a long time, and especially now that the show's out. But Margaret Atwood, the author, wrote a sequel, and it's coming out this Tuesday, the 10th? Yeah, the 10th. Well, Amazon just went ahead and shipped a bunch of people their books last Tuesday. And so I'm on a bunch of like book sites and social media and stuff. So I've been looking forward to this for like 6 months, like it's written in my nerdy planner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I didn't mess that up. Like, I've seen so many mentions of the date, and like, this, what? And everybody's like, I don't know, it just came in the mail today.
It's like, I just don't understand, like, Amazon seems like it's a pretty fucking well-oiled machine.
And they're saying it was an accident, and I'm like, how? Yeah. How is that an accident? And like, it's a big book. Like, it's a big-time book. It's one of the most anticipated books coming out this whole year. Mm-hmm. And, like, just to release, like, I don't know, you didn't just release, like, some rando's, like, children's book or something. Yeah. Like, this is a big book. And
the sequel to Clifford.
Have you ever seen that? No. There's a meme, and it's like Clifford, the big red dog, but he's helping a cat get out of a tree, so he's like holding the branch down, but someone captioned it and said, Clifford fucking launches a cat. Sorry.
No, I love when they Photoshop out the titles of fucking books.
Gosh,
and
it's
like,
so good.
Oh, it's incredible.
So Amazon did this, and this article on Gizmodo kind of stretches it a little bit. It's like, this leak would be tantamount to someone leaking the finale of Game of Thrones to Amazon customers who pre-ordered the new season. And I'm like, that's a stretch, but okay.
Yeah,
like, I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
but yeah, so like, and you know, there's all these events leading up to a release of the book. Like, Margaret Atwood had like some readings of excerpts that were coming out later in the week, and every time I saw something like that drop, I'm like, ooh, a lot of people don't care because they already got it 2 days ago.
That sucks, dude. And especially, I mean, because I know Megan was catching up on Hulu yesterday with it. So, and I mean, this is an absolutely huge book.
Yeah.
And I just think that it seems like you said, I could see this happening maybe with something a little less you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is so in the eye.
Yeah.
Like, it's really being looked at and stuff. But it's Amazon, and you can't touch them. They're the biggest retailer as far as everything goes, but especially books, too. And the publisher, Penguin, they're huge.
Yeah.
So, like, nothing's going to happen to Amazon for this.
Yeah.
And if, say, a smaller, like, independent bookstore did this... There's all these, like, rules about, like, obviously you just can't put the book out early. Like, there's really, like, embargoes, they kept saying, but I didn't look into all that. But, like, if you did that, you could potentially, you know, Penguin might be like, we're not going to sell you any of our books anymore. Which is bad because Penguin's big, and you're going to really get hurt that way.
Yeah.
And
but it's a drop in the bucket for Amazon.
Yeah.
So
like, Penguin's not going to do that because it's Amazon, and... Amazon's not going to get even a slap on the wrist for it.
Yeah.
And, like, this article said there's been a couple other things that Amazon's done this year. This made the third. Mm-hmm. And I think they were, like, maybe video games that came out early or movies or something. But, again, like, no one's going to do anything because it's Amazon. Yeah,
which we were talking a little bit about it when we were picking out articles to go through for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I know multiple occasions, being an avid gamer.
Yeah.
My buddy's like sending me like a picture. Oh, you know, I got whatever. Like, I think a bunch of people got Destiny, the first Destiny, like a week early, kind of thing. Yeah. And it was one of these things that, like, in regards to that game, it makes a difference because you're like leveling up and it's like this massive, you know, online thing.
Yeah.
And so it puts you completely behind if you're trying to keep with the, you know, the trend.
Especially if it's a game that you're going to commit, you know, 20 or 30 hours a week to playing and advancing. Yeah. And your buddy got it a week early. You're never going to catch up.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, in regards to this stuff, what about fucking spoilers and shit? People being, you know, people blazing through this book and then posting about it or whatever and ruining it for the rest of us. So. Yeah. But yeah, and it's, you know what I would be really interested to know, and I don't know if there would be a way to find this out, but what some of the big publishers, what percentage of their sales are like through Amazon?
Oh man, I'd like to see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I know Amazon's this big monster and I shouldn't buy stuff from them and whatever, but I do. I wear out Amazon. Like,
dude, it's hard to, I mean, when you're trying to save a buck, man.
And it's the easiest. Yeah. They have the best pricing. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a Kindle, so if I want an ebook, it's just instant. Yeah. And, like, even if I want to order a paperback or whatever, like, I've got Prime, so it'll be here in a day and a half or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, I totally, I hate to be a fence rider, but I completely understand, like, Penguin probably not being too upset about it because they're making millions, you know, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. I don't know what, you know, scale we're working with here, but, like, substantial. You know,
I meant to look and see, because Margaret Atwood is, like, super just outspoken and just vocal about everything. And I wondered if she made a statement about it, but I don't know. I bet she probably didn't, because yet again, you don't want to fuck with the Amazon gods.
Yeah. No, like, honestly, it's you don't want to bite the hand that feeds. but yeah, it's just it really sucks that Amazon is basically untouchable in regards to shit like this.
Yeah.
So.
And someone in the comments made a really good point. I'm so bad. I always read the comments, and I usually get mad. I do too. I'm usually like, oh, this is just a cesspit. But cesspool.
Cesspool.
Anyway, yeah,
you got it.
But but the top comment said, okay, if these are pre-orders that shipped, how would this affect a bookstore's sales? Like, people already decided they were going to order it from Amazon, and people are like, yeah, but it makes people think in the future Amazon might do this again. So they're also gonna not buy from indie local bookstores and buy from Amazon in the hopes that they'll get it early.
In hopes that they fuck it up again. Or whatever. Or, I'm sorry, in quotation marks, fuck it up. Because
total accident.
Whoops. But yeah, it's just, that sucks. It sucks for all parties involved, to be honest.
Except for all the book nerds that got their book a week early.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Well, let's go ahead and hop over to this next one from The Verge. I thought this was kind of interesting. We kind of got into a little discussion about it because this is a really this is going to be some very interesting, or there are going to be some very interesting developments, in my opinion, legislative wise.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the next big, I would say, like, freedom of speech kind of like open discussion forum.
Yeah.
Redefining what social media platforms are designated as legally. But anyway, so I pulled this one from The Verge. How making politicians unblock trolls could hurt speech online. So basically what they were talking about is, and I'm just going to read verbatim from the little first bit of this. So last week, the Knight First Amendment Institute urged Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to unblock critics on Twitter. The Knight Institute has led a push to treat politicians' social media accounts as public forums, filing a successful lawsuit against President Donald Trump for his Twitter blocking habits. Ocasio-Cortez argued that the issue was more nuanced, though. She said she was blocking, quote, less than 20 accounts, and that it was for harassment, not political viewpoints.
Yeah.
I completely understand that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I 100%, trolls exist.
Oh, yeah.
And they can completely derail an argument. It's not constructive criticism. It's not even it makes no fucking sense.
It's not
they're
even
just
valid.
trying they're just trying to elicit fucking anger and get people, pissed off.
Yep.
Now, having said that, I don't know if I want social media companies having the power to choose what they think is appropriate and inappropriate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest. Every fucking tech company, period, has their fingers in so many other pies kind of thing that it's like getting money from every direction. And I mean, dude, and run by humans who are inherently fallible. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think,
I mean, I just feel like, I don't know. I've not really ever had to deal with like a troll online. Mm-hmm. Like, I get random like porn bots trying to send me DMs on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, why? Like, what even? No. But I just hit decline.
Yeah.
But like,
and
I don't know. Like, I've muted a couple people. Just like, nothing's even wrong. There's just like some really popular accounts on Twitter that just get on my damn nerves, and they get retweeted a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're not funny and you're dumb. Yeah. So I mute them, and
which I didn't even realize that that functionality was, because they talk about the mute function on Twitter versus blocking. Yeah. And I think I think using, which by the way, they did mention in here a legal ruling from last year encouraged politicians to use Twitter's mute function, which lets someone simply avoid seeing tweets from a user they dislike. It doesn't block that person from being able to reply. And other people see it, right?
Yeah.
So, which is good, I think. I mean, but at the same time,
it's good that that's a thing, that you can do it that way.
But having said that, it's also one of these things that it's like, okay, well, and they talk about this in the article.
Yeah.
Okay, so the politician's kind of protected from this, but what about the actual like people that are trying to have a meaningful discussion about something, and you've got people just being fucking retards, I'm sorry, that's not the PC term, but people being fucking stupid, and just like, I don't know. I
don't know. Well, and it's also like, okay, if it's an account as big as friggin' Trump, like, he's not gonna interact with most people, and he's not even gonna see your stuff because he's too busy with his Sharpies. But like,
which we'll get into in a little bit.
Oh, we don't have to. That's been everywhere this week. I'm so tired of it. And like, I didn't even hear any real news this week. All I heard was the damn Sharpie.
Oh my god, dude! I'm telling you, it's kind of incredible how mainstream media can just mute everything else that's going on because of some, like, honestly, this brings similar to Kofifi. It's like, no, dude, the fucking dude, like, just he just tweeted out some nonsensical fucking shit. I think
cracks me up so much. One of my really good friends, Matt, who I hope listens to this, so he knows I called him out. But he got a vanity plate that says Kofifi, and every time I see it, I just lose my shit.
No, but the funniest thing is it gave all these fucking silly conspiracy theorists that they're like, oh no, it's code, and it's like, no, it's not code.
Yet again. Get a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you and this anti-fish barbecue lady, like, y'all need something to do with your time.
Yeah.
No, but so I feel like it's kind of just it's pointless to even worry about the whole blocking because, like, Trump's not gonna see your damn comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if you're somebody huge, like, he's probably not gonna interact with it unless he thinks he can own you in a tweet reply like he does. But
yeah. Well, so in your opinion, do you think that, and I want to get this, the semantics correct on this, but do you think that politicians' social media accounts should be seen as public forums?
I mean, honestly, no. Like, I feel like it's your own Twitter account, and, you know, if you wanted to lock it, you could, and only have, like, people you approve see your stuff, which would be weird to do as such a public figure, but I don't know, like, it's almost like it's like changing your phone voicemail greeting or something. Like, it's not necessarily that big of a thing. It's almost just like a public journal. And it's different if it's, like, you actually, like, in a debate, or you, like, on a big time talk show or something, but just your Twitter or your Facebook or whatever the hell, like.
So do you think
I don't think they should be policed, really? Well,
do you think that social media platforms in general should be seen as, like, public forums?
I mean,
and well, and because honestly, I agree with you.
Yeah.
The reason being is that they have such reach at this point. I mean, the last count on, like, active users for, like, Facebook was what, like, it's a little over 2 billion, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I do think that they need to be, they need to have less control, I think, over what how can I state this? I think that I'm at a loss of words because
I feel like it kind of comes back to like how Twitter itself is privately owned, and if they want to ban somebody because they're just a dick, they can, and then people get offended by that, and I'm like, man, if I owned Twitter, I'd probably ban Trump. Like, I'd just be like, get off my site. Like, go somewhere else with your nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, all you do is
take a Kofifi with you.
All you do is just, like, tweet bullshit about people and say fake news in every other tweet and, like, try to call out the damn liberal media. And, like, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, so, and obviously, since Trump's Twitter account is in the spotlight, I feel like more. It is 100% a hot mess.
There's like, I hear people talk and they're like, "Do you really think he's tweeting?" And I'm like, I absolutely think he's tweeting. Like, I do think it's really him.
I would be very surprised if it wasn't. To be honest. But so, having said that, though, it's also kind of one of these things that I don't think people. Coming back to, like, regulating social media stuff, I don't think people should be silenced on that stuff now, unless they fall under this stuff that it's
like
not
hate speech. Like, if you're a Nazi, you cannot be on my Twitter.
I mean, it's like, dude, and I feel like it's pretty fucking easy to define hate speech versus. Now, having said that, you also have people that are trying to basically get hate speech redefined so that it encompasses more stuff, and so that, you know, hate speech could be like whatever, like, you know, Burger King sucks, you know, and it's like, well, fuck you. I love French toast sticks, or something like that.
Do they still make those?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I need some of those. Okay.
But no, it's one of these things that I'm, I feel like they're cut and dry cases.
Yeah.
And then you've got these nuanced things, and I'm trying to think of something that, because you have basically the far left and the far right,
right,
and they're obviously spouting the exact opposite, but so far the far right has kind of come under fire a little bit more than the far left.
Yeah,
which I think that I can say that. Most of the tech community, the Silicon Valley community are definitely left-leaning.
Sure.
Sure. And so it does kind of bring into question, okay, well, if these guys are controlling what content's on their platforms, and we know that they are left-leaning kind of thing, are we really getting... the whole story, or are we getting a curated? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but having said that, it's also one of these things that, I think the main thing is legislation needs to be put through recognizing these huge social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter specifically as public forums. And I think that it's, I think you have to be doing something very apparent in regards to violating their whatever terms of service or the hate speech and all that stuff. Because hate speech. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure hate speech is not protected under the
I
First
think
Amendment, right?
I think it's
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm completely on board, but it's just when you put the control into the hands of people that are biased. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm kind of like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but having said that, I'm also one of those people that when people talk about like safe spaces on like campuses and stuff like that, I'm like kind of an eye roller in regards to that.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I say that is because that's not the real world.
It just feels very kindergarten teachery, just really like almost like you're talking down to someone. You're like, this is a safe space.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want here, kind of thing. Everybody hold hands and sing kumbaya.
Yeah.
And because I think that we are at a crossroads right now that people cannot have, or the vast majority of people cannot have a political discussion without getting pissed off. Or two people from different political leanings kind of thing, and that it's it's very easy. Finn wanted to get in on that one, but it's very easy to I'm trying to think. It's very easy for people to just derail arguments, and instead of using facts and evidence supported arguments, it's just like, oh well, so and so's an idiot, or whatever. This person's I don't even know what, and then it's like once that happens, it's like the whole argument's done, or not even argument, discussion, whatever, conversation. And so but I also don't know. I don't really know how do you address that, Because it's not like you're like, hey, we're gonna have this talk, and you're not gonna get mad.
I feel like you can kind of read people. Like I've got a handful of friends of mine that are super right leaning, and we'll have discussions, and like we know we're on opposite sides, but it's still civil. Like we're just still kind of trying to explain our side, and and you can always anybody intelligent can see the other side of an argument. So
100%.
You can see where someone's coming from, and you can have that talk. But I misread a friend of mine one time and tried to have a conversation, and
those are always fun.
Oh man, I just as soon as I said it, I was like, oh boy, you don't want to have this talk. what was it? I follow some stuff about the death penalty, and like, there's a lot of states that have got rid of it, and I brought up to him. It did not go well. But I was like, I just think it's weird. Like, so many people that are pro death penalty are also pro life, and like, you know, those. And he got really offended. He was like, "That's not the same at all. Those are innocent babies." And I'm like, "Oh boy."
Okay, how about those Red Sox?
Like, he got really offended. I was like, okay, but like, think it through though. I mean, you're protecting. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, and it's really funny because, you know, I'm one of these people that just like, I kind of believe in the death penalty for the sole reason that I don't want the tax burden of keep. And I know that sounds absolutely fucking terrible.
But the death penalty is so expensive because there's so many appeals and there's so many, like, it's insane. Yeah,
well,
it's
but I mean, shit, that's just fucking due process, like, which probably needs to be revamped.
Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff about, like, how many innocent people are on death row, and like, it's interesting. Yeah,
which I want to say that for some reason, I want to say that we covered something on like an early episode about basically the and obviously you're kind of these are estimates because I mean, hell, if they're
can't really know.
Yeah, if they're innocent, then they're well. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. So, if they're like wrongfully convicted, like that, you don't really know unless they like get it turned over or whatever. Yeah.
And then, but God. Then you hear shit that it's like fucking like Casey Anthony, you know, and you're just like, what? Yeah. What bumbling fucking idiots couldn't see through this? Yeah. You know? And it's just, but I mean, fuck, dude, our legal system is flawed to
it's
the
such
nth
a mess.
degree, man. That's another episode. We'll have to bring up all the fucking flaws of the legal system on a different one, but
we could have a whole separate podcast, like
no
not just
shit,
an episode.
Dude. Yeah, no shit. But I think that this is kind of coming back to the article. I don't know. It's. I think that these are definitely questions that need to be asked because this is very important in order to educate people politically and stuff. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that keeping up with anyone's fucking Twitter account is educational.
No.
But it's also one of these things that it's like, you know, how else do you reach the people that aren't watching TV, don't read, or at least don't read like long form.
Sure.
And like, I mean, social media is it. That's how. And I mean, God, there was a statistic, and I want to say somewhere around, and I'm sure I could be off, but it was something around 30 to 40% of people like got their fucking news from like Facebook, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me.
No.
But it's just one of these things that kind of comes back to the whole argument about it being a public forum, and it's like, okay, well, what's making it on and what's not making it on Facebook?
Yeah,
you know, which scares me because I want the complete picture.
Yeah,
because I'm a complete and utter moderate.
Yeah,
because I think both sides have some really fucking good points.
Sure,
and nobody is completely right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's one of these things. I want the whole picture so that I can come to my own fucking conclusion. Yeah. You know, I don't want this curated, you know, bullshit that's trying to spin me in some direction, you know. Yeah. But I don't know. You know, so I think we're headed in the right direction in regards to this stuff. Just because I think we're gonna see some legislation in the pipeline.
Probably,
come through to really open up these platforms and, I don't know, make them a little bit nonpartisan spaces kind of thing. But anywho, so speaking of the Kofifi, we'll give it a little shout out. Don't worry, we won't belabor the point. But if you haven't seen it, you must be living under a rock.
Yes.
So, but Allie pulled this one from Vox. Trump exaggerated the path of Hurricane Dorian with a marker. It's kind of fucking incredible, to be perfectly honest with you. I just don't understand, how does this get like...
Well, so I think the whole gist of it all, everyone probably already fucking knows this, because how can you have missed this week? Yeah. But he can't deal with being wrong literally ever.
Yeah.
Because he's him. And he said something about Alabama being in the path of Hurricane Dorian. And the like National Weather Service tweeted, and they were like, absolutely not. Like,
wrong.
Birmingham's fine. Alabama's not involved. This, no. And then Trump, fake news Trump. I mean, apparently he got some weather map projection and drew an extra symbol on it with his Sharpie. You can look at it and be like, this looks goofy. Like, why is there one circle and then you added a semicircle past it? Like, it doesn't... What are you doing?
It is... I mean, that really is just fucking insane, dude.
I heard just like a passing comment somewhere on maybe Twitter that they think maybe Trump misheard when someone told him it's heading toward the Bahamas. He misheard it maybe and heard Alabama, and so tweeted something about Alabama.
He misheard Alabama for the Bahamas. I mean, that might be a stretch, but maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but
maybe his comb over was like obstructed his ear or something. Yeah.
But yeah, so he set out to prove that he was not wrong.
Yeah.
With Sharpie.
Just incredible, dude. I mean, like, oh wow, that altering official government weather forecasts isn't just a cause for concern, it's actually illegal. Wow.
Can you imagine if Trump got like fined for this or something?
God. That is incredible, man. It really is. Because like you said, I mean, it's not even like effort was fucking put forth to try to make it look realistic. It's just like, it looks like a tumor growth off the original, like,
yeah, like you didn't even
diagram.
Photoshop it. You just added to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, does Trump ever delete tweets? You know people do that, and then, but they never go away.
Yeah.
But I don't think he deletes them.
He might not.
I don't think
honestly.
He does.
That wouldn't surprise me, man. He's a pretty fucking arrogant guy, so...
I stand by what I said.
I stand by it. No, I don't care what you said. Alabama.
They're
getting it. They're getting the comeuppance. All right, so we'll go ahead and cruise on from that one, and let's talk about Chanel Miller.
Chanel Miller was not a name that anybody knew till this week. She was known as Emily Doe in the Stanford swimmer rape case. Brock Turner, I hate this little prick. Like, every time I see his face, I'm like, someone needs to punch this guy. Yeah. And he only got 3 months, even though he got convicted. So, what's great. Love the legal system. Yeah. Love it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the shitty thing about our legal system is that it's just like that shit happens, and then you've got innocent people on fucking death row.
Or you've got people in jail for 20 years for weed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, great, good. Yeah. Love to see our priorities.
Yeah.
But,
what school was it?
Stanford.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So this was 2016, I think, was when the case was. Turner assaulted her at a party while she was unconscious in 2015.
Gotcha.
So
it was a super fucked up story.
It was really fucked up, and like all of his like people in his life came forward and they were like, this is really going to ruin his life. He had a bright future. And it's like, hey, if you don't want your life ruined, don't rape people. I just, like, make your own better choices.
How is that even a fucking, like, argument?
Oh, yeah. It was a whole thing. Like, people were like, and, like, even, like, his, like, pictures in the media were, like, nice-looking shots and not, like, his, like, mug shot. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But,
it was like his school photo or some shit,
it was,
right?
like, him looking presentable. Yeah. And the media just portrayed him as like just a good kid that made one mistake, and like, okay, fine, it's one mistake, but it's a huge one.
Yeah.
Ugh. So anyway, she had a victim impact statement that she read during the sentencing of the trial. Mm-hmm. And it was 7,100 words long, which is real long.
Yeah.
And it went viral. Like, it's all over the internet if you want to read it. Mm-hmm. I never got around to reading the whole thing because, like, that's going to be a tough read.
Yeah.
But she's really well spoken. I've seen a lot of excerpts from that. Mm-hmm. And anyway, this week she came out publicly and was like, "This is my name. This is my face. I'm a real person. Also, I wrote a book." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. I would love to like support this and read this book." I figured it was coming out later. It's coming out in like 3 weeks. Like it's this month.
Oh wow.
And she's a really good she's really eloquent. Like she writes really well. Mm-hmm. She was a lit major and now she's a writer like by profession.
And what's the name of the book?
It's called what's it called? It's called Know My Name.
Know My Name. Okay.
Yeah, but it's already really big. Like I've never pre-ordered a book and I pre-ordered this one. Like I'm pretty excited about it. It's not going to be a fun read, but like I feel like it's important.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree. And well, first of all, it's really weird because I went to high school with a guy named Brock Turner.
Did you?
Yeah. Ooh. But I'm pretty sure he didn't take part in any of any shenanigans like this. But like, dude, it's just, I think that's really cool that she's coming forward with all of this and just like laying it all out there and being like, you know what? The world is not a fucking beautiful place all the time. Yeah. And this needs to be fucking known and it needs to be put out there. Yeah. I think that's really cool, and I have a shit ton of respect for her because I don't even know her, and
I'm like so proud of her. Like, this is just a brave thing to do, and like
for sure,
people, she's the survivor and the victim, however you want to word it, but like, but there's still that stigma of like it's taboo, it's sex related, and so like. There's always, like, people protect the names of sexual assault victims, like, unless they explicitly say, yes, you can use my name. Like, the media just in general, it's like a really hard and fast rule. They just don't name victims.
Yeah.
And for her to come out, a couple years later and say, hey, sure, here's my name, here's my face. I'm embracing is not the right word, but, like, this is empowering me.
Yeah.
So really
it was. So speaking of that, so there's a book, and I've probably talked about this book before on the podcast, but it's called Female Chauvinist Pigs.
Oh boy,
you would actually love it. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Okay. It was written by a friend of mine in undergraduate. Her cousin wrote it, and it was talking about how women were empowered by these different or depending on how they viewed it kind of thing. Like they interviewed like strippers and stuff, and they were like, I love stripping because I can make men eat out of my fucking hands kind of thing. And just like, it was really cool because it was a completely new perspective on that, you know, because it's like, you a lot of the times, and I'm not saying that this isn't the majority case, but like a lot of times people will end up like stripping and stuff, but out of necessity, not out of choice kind of thing. Right. But this girl would like just totally wrote it in a different light, and it was a good read, man. I'll let you borrow it. I mean, how you can crush it in like a day. Got it. I'm sure it took me years. I'm still fucking trudging my way through Stephen King's It. I think the last time we talked, I was on like 65%. Now I'm on 70%.
And so I've committed to reading that in October, and I'm already dreading it. Like it's so big.
God, dude, it's ridiculous. We were walking through Target the other day.
Yeah, Megan I was there yesterday and picked it up. Yeah, and
I was like, holy shit, they can only fit 2 on the shelf. Yes. Because it's like 3 inches thick, man. It's ridiculous.
The copy I picked up at Target was right around 1,150 pages. Yeah. And I just read a book a couple weeks ago that was just under 800 pages. And it was really good until about page 600, and then it took me forever to finish it. And I'm like, it is going to be a nightmare.
Well, because he does, and not to, I don't mean to get off the topic too much, but Stephen King is a really interesting writer.
Yes.
Because obviously he does horror, but it's really weird how sexualized a lot of the shit is. Like,
oh yeah.
And like how he'll just get like stuck on shit, and it's like, for instance, I hated The Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Because I thought it's Nathaniel Hawthorne, right?
Yep.
Okay. He like used like a chapter to describe like a rose or something like that, and I was just like, come the fuck on, man. Let's like, okay, I know what a rose looks like, this is cool and everything, but like, you know, or something along those lines. But it was just so incredibly long-winded, and I'm like, get to the fucking point.
I tried to read some Tolkien a million years ago.
Yeah.
And after, I swear it was like 20 pages, and I was like, this fucking Shire, I get it, it's green and it's pretty, but like, can we have a character, or can something happen?
No, I completely agree. And if he's not describing the Shire, then you're reading a fucking song that you don't know the fucking tune to. It's like, oh my god. But anyway, I think this is really, really cool. I think that, getting back to Chanel Miller, I think that this is, like you said, I am super fucking stoked to I don't know if I will get around to reading this.
Sure,
but
I'm sure there will be reviews everywhere about it, and you know, I can honestly see, and obviously I've not read it yet, it's not out yet, but I could see this being taught in like feminine, what's that major called? Like women's studies. Yeah, like I could see this would be a good book for that. You know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I mean, this shit happens. Yeah. And I am also a big proponent for nothing is taboo. Yeah. And because I think that as soon as you fucking make something taboo, then I think that bad things happen after that. Yeah. So,
yeah, I think it's important to hear. And, you know, people get uncomfortable hearing, like, rape survivor stories and stuff, but, like, it is important. And, you know, it'll be good for other people that have gone through similar things to read this and be like, hey, look, like, you know, this girl's life didn't all go to shit. Like, you know, she really came out on top. Yeah. Well, no, exactly. Yeah. And that you know, if you are the victim of this, this doesn't have to be your fucking defining thing. You know, you can rise above this, and you know, it's I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I think it'll be really good. I have so many books to read, but I'm gonna read that one right when it comes out. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, speaking of taboo, let's fucking let's do this. Let's do the damn thing. So I'm so pumped about this story. I read all the comments. It's so good. It really so is. Much. Yeah. So I pulled this in from the Salt Lake Tribune. Conservative groups storm Utah school board to protest students asking, quote, spontaneous questions about sex. So, Allie and I were kind of talking about this a little bit before. This shit, we live in the Bible Belt, but Utah is a fucking honorary member. Oh, yeah. So I feel like Mormons, I know this is not right, but they're, in my mind, they're like super Baptists. Yeah. And I know that, like, religious-wise, that's not at all applicable, but, like, standard of living kind of wise. Or not standard, but, like, fucking whatever. Craziness. Yeah. Craziness is right, man. They left out the snake handling, so. Yeah. No, that's, who's that? It starts with a P. Shit. No, I can't think of it. I don't know. I knew some people that did that. Really? Yeah. Man, as soon as snakes come out, I'm out, dude. Well, see, that's where you need to welcome Jesus Christ into your heart. Then it won't bite you, right? Exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah. Glad we're on the same page. So anyway, several conservative groups packed the Utah Board of Education meeting this past Thursday to protest a state law that says teachers can answer spontaneous questions, in quotations, from students about sex. So, just this one fucking paragraph, I already know that I'm
completely against whatever the fuck is going to be
also
said in this
I'm
shit.
all in. Like when I saw this, I got this first, it's not even, it's a sentence, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm here, I am here for this article.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what they're arguing basically is, and I agree to an extent about one part of this article. They said that the guide or the standards guide or whatever needs to be updated. You know, I agree with that, but I would probably make it a little bit more explicit.
Yeah,
because that's the world that we fucking live in, man.
Yeah.
And we were kind of talking about it a little bit before, just about what age range because they never actually say.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's probably like K through 8th, roughly, because I would think that high school is probably a little bit different, but also we're talking about.
Or this may just be a catch-all for the whole school system. So
yeah,
this may really be right. K through 12. I don't know. It didn't really clarify.
Yeah, but man, it is just these questions that they are like posing are inappropriate. Are completely like, I want to give an example. Are you looking at one by chance? Or?
The weirdest one that stuck out to me was, can you get pregnant if you have sex standing up?
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone ask that. I knew a lot of women who thought that you couldn't get pregnant if you had sex on your period, and I'm like, oh honey, sweet summer child. Dude,
but the thing that kills me about this, because I grew up in Granger County.
Yep.
And like fucking hard of the Baptist, movement.
Yeah.
And they stuck with the only real way is abstinence or whatever.
And okay, but even if that's what you're teaching, like a lot of these kids are horny and they want, even if they're good kids, they get married when they're 18 or 19, and then they start having sex, and then they're instantly pregnant because they think you can't get pregnant if you have sex standing up.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is because it's one of these. Well, and so a little story for you.
Oh boy.
There was a girl that I went to school with in Granger, and she got pregnant in the 7th grade.
Dude, there was a kid that transferred to my school in 8th grade, and his last name was hyphenated, and part of it was Head. And all the guys laughed so much at that. Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like 13. I'm like, I don't get...
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's some sort of dick joke, but I don't get it.
Some sort of dick joke.
Dude, I was probably like a sophomore before I was ever like, oh, that poor kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know.
So, like, this kid's getting pregnant in 7th grade?
Dude,
I didn't even know.
She and her boyfriend... The story gets better.
Oh, boy.
They actually were caught banging at school in the woods, kind of thing. And everybody knew that they'd fucking do that. But the thing was, it was like you could go off into, like, it wasn't fenced in really, because it was down by like a basketball court,
right?
And you could go off and like be totally out of the view of teachers and shit. And of course, all the teachers would stand together and shoot the shit.
Sure,
and they weren't paying attention.
Yeah,
but so we always wondered, we were like, did she actually get like pregnant at school? Which would have been super fucked. But she also, this is how fucking crazy Granger is, dude. She got her mom to bring her baby to school.
Like show and tell?
Literally a fight broke out between the baby daddy and her current boyfriend. Because that's two different fucking dudes.
Sure, she'd moved on.
Of course. And I don't know.
What was the fight about?
About
her, obviously.
No, about like basically, it had something to do with like who was. I think maybe the current boyfriend made some kind of fucking disparaging remark about like whatever. They were both just like
also,
super white trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And exactly, dude. I mean, 12, 13 years old, and it's like, fuck, man. Shoot.
What was I arguing with people? I'm like arguing with people about gigapets when I'm 12.
Yeah.
And you've got a baby?
Yeah. I was like trying to figure out how to beat like Final Fantasy VII.
Sure,
you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, but it was just really interesting about just all the shit that they were bringing up as inappropriate for for teachers to address.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is like shit that it's, you know, I mean, like, is there a purpose for pubic hair? Let's see.
That's just a biology question.
That's the thing, man, is a lot of this shit completely is, it's sex education, but it's biology. It's fucking physiology. It's, you know, and, which I did, I started laughing at some of these because I was just like, what's a girl's cherry?
Aww.
You know, it's just like, oh my God, I can only imagine in the context that was delivered to this child, you know. But and yeah, it was just but I do think that like some of this shit kind of does get into kind of gray area because, for instance, there was one that it was talking about if I have, let's see, if I have more sex partners, and I'm paraphrasing, or
I was going to bring that one up. Like, if I have more sexual partners, will I be better at it?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, that's just a like, ooh, I mean,
that might
probably but like you can't tell a kid that.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
It's frowned upon.
Seriously, you really want to knock it out of the park, man? Go heal Jesus once a week.
But I mean, I feel like it's probably like everything. Like, you get better at stuff the more you do it.
Yeah, you know what? It's true. It's true. But no, it was just this shit. These people are arguing not about the nuances in these questions.
Yeah.
They're arguing about information in general.
Yes.
Like,
and some of this is really like, this is stuff you need to tell these kids. Like, one of them was like, if I wear 2 condoms, is that better?
Yeah.
No, that's awful. They'll tear. There's friction. You can't do that. But like, people don't know that.
Exactly.
Like, I knew guys that would like joke about that in high school, and I was always like, no.
Dude, some of the shit that you hear like growing up, like in regards to sex and stuff, it's kind of incredible. Like, you know, I don't know where people are like getting their information, but okay, we're talking about teachers here. Yeah. What is a teacher's purpose? To educate.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, as a teacher, you're also like just already sort of a mentor. Like, you're an adult that your kids should be able to trust. And you know, you don't, you know, someone made a good point. They were like, you can ask a teacher something, and if it's weird, you don't have to like face them judging you over the mashed potatoes at dinner. Yeah. You know? And like with your parents, if you ask your parents like how anal sex works, your parents are going to be like, what?
What? Yeah.
You are 14. Also, what? And then like dinner's going to be weird.
Dinner's going to be, I all of a sudden don't want my pork chop.
Can you please pass the peas, and also don't put anything in your butt?
Yeah, seriously.
But that's a big thing. These people in Utah are advocating. They don't want these teachers answering basically anything. Yeah. They want to direct the kid to their parents. Yeah. And like, if I worked up the nerve to ask a teacher, I mean, the way they're presenting this is you're just asking it outright in class in front of 25 of your peers. Yeah. If I worked up the nerve to be like, can you get pregnant having oral sex? Yeah. That was on this list. Yeah, yeah. And the teacher said, I'm not allowed to answer that. Please ask your parents. I would be so mortified. Yeah. And I would never ask my parents. And I'm close with my parents. I was always close with my parents. Yeah. But like, sex stuff was just taboo. And it was just, you just don't ask your parents that. Yeah.
No, exactly.
And even if I asked like a trusted other adult, like if I asked like my aunt, she would answer me honestly, but like she'd probably also give my mom a heads up. Yeah. Be like, oh, your kid might be boning people.
Yeah, seriously. Well, no, and that's the funny thing is because it's like kids need this fucking information. Yeah, there's no such thing as a 100% abstinence rate. No, period. No. Like, yes, you're gonna have kids that fucking have premarital sex. Yeah. You're gonna have kids that wait until they're married or whatever. But what we need to do is have these kids have the information in front of them, so that at least they can make the best decision possible, health wise. Yeah, you know. And I mean, these people are just like fucking, in my opinion, like on the verge of lunatics because
absolutely.
Well, in the comments they had also let's see, was it down in was it Georgia or Alabama about the daycares that they had this same group had fought that I was talking about?
Yes,
I can't remember if it was Georgia or Alabama.
Somewhere down here.
Yeah. But yeah, it was the Eagle Forum.
Yep.
And so basically they had fought legislation that would require, let me slow down and repeat that. They fought legislation that would require daycares, including church daycares, to be like certified and like basically make sure that there is a standard among all daycares. They fought legislation for that.
So just imagine, you want less rules and laws about the people watching your children?
Yeah.
Okay.
in what fucking realm does that even make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's probably because they want like their 12-year-olds to be able to work the church
to run
daycare.
A daycare. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
what a nightmare.
Totally insane. But yeah, so they're apparently they actually had a decent number of people up in arms about it. And they filled up like this public whatever the school board meeting.
Yeah, they had to turn some people away.
Yeah. But it was only basically a bunch of people from this group that signed up to speak.
Yeah.
So they just, this vocal
took it over.
Yeah, exactly. They completely and utterly commandeered the old school board meeting. But just absolutely insane. Educate your kids, man. Like, they're going to ask weird questions.
I mean, bless the internet for existing now. These kids can Google.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Lord knows what they'll end up with if they Google what is anal sex. I mean, but...
Look it up on the fucking Mayo Clinic or something. Like, at least a reputable source.
Oh, man.
Don't go to Reddit.
Don't go to Pornhub. Like,
don't go to Pornhub. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
Well, I am doing a time check, and I think that we are about wrapped up here. So we're gonna go ahead and skip probably this last one.
Yeah.
And I'll just do our social jingle real quick, and then we will skedaddle. But dude, thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah.
Like, this has been really fun.
Yeah, I love
it. I know we were talking about it once I get Joseph back from Lucene, which, by the way, means, I believe, the swan in French.
I love it.
So,
love a Kansas swan.
Yeah, right. But once I get Joseph back, I think that we could have some really fucking good discussions about this stuff.
Yeah.
But anywho, so this has been episode 65 of the Tether Radio podcast. If you have anything you want to spout off to us, hit us up at tetherradio@gmail.com. That's TETHERRADIO@gmail.com. On the Twitter sphere, we are at Tether_radio. On Instagram, same damn thing, at Tether_radio. We're also on Zuckerberg's Facebook at Tether Radio, all one word. Yeah, man, this has been a blast. Really good episode, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Let us know, for sure, and let us know, guys, if what you think. I mean, shit, that's what this is all about. We need some more listener involvement. But anyway, this has been episode 65, and I'm Daniel. And over there's Ale.
Yep.
And we are wishing you well. And thanks for lending us your ear. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one, guys.